Hello, hello. God bless. This is the unbiased fan, Grim Reaper, and we got to talk some boxing. And there's going to be some people that's not going to like what I'm about to talk about, but I'm just going to be honest. And people will say, "Oh, you're on a crusade. You hate you this, you this." Nah, man. We're going to call what we see, and enough is enough across the board. We got to have some type of integrity. We got to stand for something, and we have to call what we see in totality what it is. So, if you can see what the title of this is, it is PBC should fold at this point. And I'm going to lay out the reasons why I feel this way and the dynamics of what is doing to boxing and the way that they're operating. Okay? So, the reason why I believe at this point, I believe PBC should fold for the betterment of boxing is these reasons. Reason number one, fighters' inactivities. If we look from top to bottom on the PBC roster, more than 2/3 of the fighters that we consider of any importance, they are fighting once a year or less. Errol Spence has fought once in the last 3 years, twice in the last 4 years. The older Charlo has not fought in over 700 plus days. His younger brother, after his injury, he is now over a year. Keith Thurman has only fought twice in the last, 5 years, just about? Well, 3 times in the last 5 years. Gary Antoine Russell, he hasn't fought in a year. If you look at all the fighters that we consider, they have big gaps and lulls of inactivity. And this leads to certain things for boxers. I believe the younger Charlo got hurt because boxers are being overtrained and not fighting enough. And that's how injuries happen. See, in the years before, fighters would actually fight more, and I think that kept you in better condition to stay healthy. If you spend all your time training, you're leading yourself into places where you're getting injuries. Yo, shout out to my man E Thriller the Black Picasso. Yes, it is Stephen Brimley, D-Town Blaster the Master. What's up, my brother? How you doing, man? I'm glad y'all pulled up on me this afternoon. You know, it's my off days. I had to talk about this because I'm going to get into it soon, but y'all know what I'm about to talk about. So, one reason is fighters' inactivity when it comes to PBC. Yep, E3 said it right. Mayweather is more active than any other fighter in the sport. Well, maybe not any other fighter, but he's definitely more active than every PBC fighter. And a nice example is that if we look at Tim Tszyu, he actually has a partnership with PBC, but he saw the writing on the wall, what's going on, and he handled his business. He ain't waiting for them. As you can see, he's setting up fight after fight. He's fighting every 3-4 months, and he's handling the business. Yeah, the hate towards me is about to commence. Absolutely, and I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm going to be real about this, bro, because it's really about the time for us to have this conversation. Enough is enough. So, all the inactivity about fighters from PBC, you cannot debate that. So, point one is an undebatable topic. Too many inactive fighters. Let's talk about the fighters who've left. Richard Hitcherson, as soon as he leaves PBC, he goes to Matchroom, and he's already fought twice already. He's in line to get a title shot. Danny Jacobs, he left PBC and went and got good, solid bread to get fights, which leads into my next segment. The reason two, before I go into reason two, shout out to Sly Tennessee's 87, Money Talks and Bell Holders Walk. Yeah, they're devaluing belts by devaluing the sport. We'll get into that too. That's going to be another one of the topics. Um, so when I said Jacobs left and ended up getting more money, that leads into the reason number two. I feel like PBC should be folding. The reason number two is you have an advisor in Al Heyman who advises fighters, but then he has these deals with networks, and he's part of the PBC, but he's not part of the PBC because Tom Brown runs the PBC, right? But I feel like Tom Brown's just the front man, and the person that runs PBC is actually Al Heyman, which leads to a conflict of interest. How can you look out for what's best for the fighter and look out for what's best for the promotional company? Example one, Deontay Wilder. He had a 3-fight deal for $100 million on the table from direct at Matchroom, not from Eddie Hearn, because you know he had an issue with Eddie Hearn. It was from directly from Matchroom. $100 million, 3 fights. Fight Dominique Brazil, then fight twice Anthony Joshua. Instead, Al Heyman said no to that. Why did he say no? Because he was looking out for the best interest of the promotional company. But the best interest is actually for his fighter would have been him to take that deal. That's where my issues really started with PBC at that point. So how can you be looking out for the best interest of your fighter and the promotional company at the same time? Conflict of interest. Reason number two. And I'm not going to even use, shout out to my man Mark Nash and our good money. Shout out to all y'all pulling up. I appreciate y'all giving me the time, So when you're dealing with a conflict of interest like this, it leads to situations and circumstances where you're going to have Deontay Wilder situations. I'm not going to even use Spence and Crawford as an example here because there's going to be a lot of bullshit they'll try to use to debunk it. So I'm not going to even use that. I'm going to use everything else to make the points clear here. All right? So we got 1, inactivity in fighters. 2, conflict of interest for fighters. Big Blunts and Boxing. Shout out to this good man, Big Blunts and Boxing. What up, man? What's good, y'all? So the reason number 3, and this is one that really hits to the core for me. The lack of respect on the sport aspect of boxing. I understand boxing is a business as well, but it is a sport first and foremost. There is no respect on the sport side of boxing when PBC is making their moves, which ties into this. We all know that Rolly Romero did not deserve a title shot at 140 with 0 fights at 140 after being knocked out at 135. Then we have Danny Garcia getting a 160 title shot. Is it 160? Yeah, it's 160 at a catchweight versus Lara. When he hasn't fought there, the only thing he did was fight 1 fight versus the younger Benavidez at 154. So that means money's being slid under the table to these sanctioning bodies who don't have any code of conduct or honor because we're in the wild, wild west of boxing, and they're getting away with doing these things right there. So D-Down Blaster, you said you disagree. It's a business first and a sports second. Yeah, it is. I got you on that. But they're completely disregarding the sports side. I can understand the business side, right? But at the end of the day, the money you get from these fights is because it's still a sport. And when you disrespect the sport aspect, which is actual competition, if you don't respect that, then you're flat out disrespecting the fans. You're flat out disrespecting the essence of boxing. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. And I hope y'all would understand what I'm saying when it comes to that, because they don't respect the aspect of boxing in the sport, because you don't do stuff like that unless you don't. Okay, no doubt, detail, no doubt. All right, so going into the Rolly Romero fight, we didn't feel like he deserved a fight. He was supposed to fight Puello, right? But Puello somehow, some way, he comes up, positive for a PED. Real convenient, but I'm not gonna hold that. I can't hold that. I'm gonna let that ride. So then we got this 40-year-old man that looks 70 in the face, right? He comes in and we up here teasing this guy, messing with him because he looks old. I mean, it's the truth. He looks like an old man, you know? And we expected Rolly to go and knock this dude out, right? But when we get down to it and we watch this fight that we saw this Saturday, and I think everybody here will admit the same thing. What did we see when we saw this fight? We saw a person being dominated, getting knocked down, cannot avoid the left hand, a fighter who is using his left hand to the body really well, clearly winning the fight. Rolly lands a good punch. They give him a knockdown after the push. And then we get to the 9th round. And shout out to my bro Ring IQ. Shout out to my brother E Thriller. Shout out to Mark Nash. Shout out to everybody that I've rocked with. I get a chance to enjoy my boxing and checking out their content, being on their panels. We were actually cracking up laughing because we're looking like, oh man, Rolly, because we know Rolly is not a real good fighter. He doesn't have the fundamentals. I mean, he can whoop our ass, but he has no fundamentals when it comes to being the best in boxing. And in that 9th round, what we saw from Tony Weeks was this. We saw a guy who literally stopped the fight with a fighter that was landing no punches whatsoever. Not a single solid. Is this probably the biggest travesty I have seen in boxing? It's top 3 worst stoppages in the history of boxing. And nobody can tell me different. No one can tell me different. I mean, it's crazy. It is absolutely ridiculous to see them do what they did. And a little content that my brother sent me, I just wanted to throw this in here because I don't know. In fact, I'm not even going to do it. I'm not even going to do it because end of the day, Tony Weeks did this. Tony Weeks stopped the fight prematurely. And to make matters worse, if you go to Tony Weeks' Instagram, he made a post on his Instagram, right? That post on his Instagram was before the fight. Oh, it ain't let me attach this. If you get a chance, I want you guys to go see this because I mean it's ridiculous. He posted on. Are you kidding me? I just can't believe it. I really can't. And he got paid. The fix was in. Oh, my audio tripping? You can't hear me? Can you hear me now, E3? Tell me if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Wow, sorry about that, y'all. All right, bet. All right, so I don't know where we missed off at, but I'm saying that Tony Weeks got paid. He got extra. The man posted on Instagram, mistakes happen before the fight. Real coincidental. There's no excuse for this. At one point in time, boxing actually had to answer these type of questions because boxing was mainstream value. Now they can just go run and hide. Don't have to face the music. Don't have to answer any questions. Is this actually acceptable? And now we got people making arguments. Belts don't matter. Well, what PBC is doing is trying to devalue the belt so they can have that argument. Putting Rolly in a position to get a title at 140 devalues the belts. This is why PBC needs to go. They have too many inactive fighters. They're protecting the fighters, which goes into another thing. Rolly, everybody, if we talk about Tank's resume, I like Tank in the ring. I like him in the ring. But if we're going to be real, can we count Rolly Romero as a significant fucking win? Before Pitbull Cruz fought him, nobody knew who Pitbull Cruz was unless you were a diehard boxing fan. I knew who Pitbull Cruz was, but there was no one that was of any casual nature knew who Pitbull Cruz was until he fought Tank. Tank's best win to this day is still Pedraza. You hear me? That was in 2017. It has been 6 years since. He has had his belt, his WBA Reggie belt, for how many years and has not challenged for the real belt. Nobody wants to admit it, but they ducked Lomachenko. Clearly, no debating. Which is reason number 4. They do not make the fights that fans want to see on the regular basis unless it's absolutely beneficial 100%. I am tired of the protective movements that they make without taking any chances. I got issues with Top Rank too. I don't sit here and cape for Top Rank. I got issues with Matchrooms. I'm not gonna sit here and cape for them. But one thing that Top Rank has, they have a sink or swim program. Oh, General Big Fish, my man, the king, one of the kings of propaganda, the former Wright brother, now the Davis, Team Davis in the building. Shout out to my brother, General Big Fish. So Top Rank has a sink or swim program where fighters are now going to be lined up to fight someone of value. And when they fight that person, you're either going to sink or swim. PBC is only to swim away from the fake fights as any danger. And the thing is, look at the fights on the same side of the street. That tells you a whole lot. Go look at who else is at 135 that is at the PBC who has worked to positioning to get a bigger fight, but he won't get one from his own countermate, Frank Martin. Frank Martin is in position, and he's going to have to fight tooth, claw his way into some type of significant fight. Because they're not going to put him versus Tank. They don't have a sink or swim program. They have a swim away from a dangerous fight program. They put more value on the old than the fights. They put more value on the dollar than the sport. There's got to be a balance. There's no balance at PBC. I'm sorry, y'all. PBC got to go. I don't want to see people lose their jobs and none of that. You know what I mean? I don't wish bad for nobody. But for the sake of boxing, PBC has to go. When you have fighters not fighting, your career is wasting away. You have a whole lot of ducking, a whole lot of protection, no risk taking whatsoever. That's not boxing. They're devaluing the sport of boxing. Conflicts of interest when you have Al Heyman who's looking out for the networks and the fighters. You can't do both at the same time. Not every time. And Deontay Wilder. That 100 million probably was better, and his career would be a whole lot different if they had took that instead of getting his ass whooped by Tyson Fury literally almost 3 times. But everybody, now I'm going to get into it, but now everybody say Bud's a duck. But all this evidence of all this bullshit that PBC has done, but Bud is the duck. Bud is this. But throughout Terrence Crawford's entire history as a fighter, he has never moved in any way and made statements that says, I'm a duck. He might have made statements out of frustration, and that's a foot in your mouth. I got to give it up to that. When PBC wants to fight, they always make that shit work. No, they only want to fight when it's in their 100% advantage, bro. Only when they feel like they have the absolute, clear, unequivocal advantage, and they will do everything to have that. They will not go into a fight with a 50-50 setup where everything is 100% on the up and up, and we just want to see the best fight the best. They will not do that. They have not done that. So, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. That when PBC wants to fight, they make them. I'm sorry, no, they only make it work when it's advantageous to them and when it's financially beneficial to them. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, I'm back, y'all. Check this out. So I'm going into Spencer Crawford now, and I wasn't going to, but I have to because I came up liking Errol Spence a little bit. Okay, no doubt, Sly. My bad. You was being sarcastic. Yeah, true shit, real shit. My bad. So I came in, and me and E-Thriller will be a testimony to this. I was caping for, not capping, caping for Errol Spence, Supermaning for the man, flying in like a bird is in a plane. No, it's Super Brim. I was caping for Errol Spence because I think to this day still, Errol Spence is an excellent fighter. He's an excellent fighter. And even people that don't like him will say the real deal. General Big Fish, I'm done with you. You need Tony Weeks to be the referee for Loma Haney? Shit. Hell no. No, please don't do that to us. Big Fish, you are horrible, bro. Don't condone this whole shit, bro. Please don't. And and if anybody want to join in, I just dropped the link to the chat, the link to the panel. If anybody wants to, I was not no full blown aerosexual. Fuck out of here, E3. I was always trying to be objective. I didn't bash. Bud Crawford. I didn't do Bud Crawford dirty. I didn't disrespect his name. That's what aerosexuals do. They make excuses to try to bash him. I just made points about where I felt where they were at in their careers, and it's still true to this day. Unfortunately, Terrence Crawford was a B-side because of certain circumstances, and maybe he could have navigated, maybe he couldn't. But those were facts, and they still are facts to this day. No, I didn't make excuses for Errol time and again. I held Errol accountable for some things, bro. Stop it. But I digress. I'll let you have that. You can have that Dane even when I'm mad at. All right, so Terrence Crawford never, ever moved like a duck, like a sucker. None of that, right? Never did. When do we know that he moved in that way? Never. You can roll the tape if you want to, E3. I don't give a shit. Roll the tape, brother. Make sure I'm going to roll duct tape on your ass, though. No, Mark Nash, you would have liked me because I was an actual fair person. I wasn't, and I still am. I actually defended Errol Spence and I felt like he was too hard on Errol Spence. But I didn't just go around saying, oh, Errol Spence. I didn't do like these other people who are actual aerosexuals, you want to call. I didn't operate in that form and fashion. I operate in a fashion, and I still will defend Errol Spence to some degree. I don't agree with everything the E3 say about Errol Spence because I don't believe Errol Spence is scared of Terrence Crawford. It's that he hides behind this PBC brand who don't value the sport of boxing, who don't value the essence of what boxing is and what competition is, who lets their fighters sit on the shelf for so fucking long, who is willing to rig shit so they can get belts to fighters who don't even deserve belts, and then therefore devaluing the belts, and then allowing other people to say, Oh, hey, hold up. Mark Nash. One of the things I've always said, even when I was a little more on the arrow side, is that the YouTube channels had more hate on Bud and Kate more for Spence. That was a fact. They called him the top ranked Toby. Yep. And shut the hell up, E3. So, but how in the fuck is Bud Crawford supposed to go to PBC? It's like if we want to compare Bud going to PBC back in 2018, it is similar to Regis Prograis right now. Regis Prograis just signed the Matchroom, and people's like, he should have signed the top rank. He should have signed the PBC. Well, first and foremost, him signing the top rank, question mark central. First and foremost, CFE Lopez said he ain't, after this fight, he done. Then Ramirez has been ducking the entire fucking time. He tried to fight him twice, he ducked. Then you got Josh Taylor, who's probably going to go to 147. So there was no guaranteed fight for him at 140. Then on top of that, they offered him a longer agreement, so he stuck with them and not knowing all the details. PBC ain't offered him shit. And on top of that, he went over to PBC before. Remember, he went over there to get a fight and didn't get it and left because of that. So why the fuck would he go back to somewhere where they didn't even give him shit the first fucking time? Regis made the right move going to Matchroom. Yes. He made the right move on the Matchroom, especially when it looks like Matias is about to go over there too, because he's not connected to Al. He can go do what the hell he wants at this point, and they're not gonna make no fight there. And that's the reason why I'd be like, why is people caping so hard for PBC when there's PBC fighters is not even getting the right fights? They have no program there, bro. They're flying off the seat of their fucking pants. And then when they plan shit, it's cockamamie as fuck, bro. It's cockamamie. I'm sorry. To put Rolly Romero in a title fight at 140 with 0 fights at 140 after a knockout, and to put Danny Garcia at 160 for a title shot at a catchweight after fighting one time at 154, and his whole career 147, he's the ultimate tune-up. Danny Garcia is the ultimate fucking tune-up. But this guy's about to get a title shot at 160. You can't make this shit up. PBC is disrespecting the sport of boxing, bro. I held on as long as I could. I used to champion them. I thought they was going to do it. But Fox, gone. NBC, gone. And let's talk about Showtime. I used to be deep in stocks. I got my ass handed to me in the stock market. I was up one time at 100 grand at one point, and I got my ass handed to me in the stock market. Para, which is Paramount. Go look at the stock symbol. And when we look at that, we see this. A company whose quarterly revenue is getting smashed, going lower and lower and lower. And they are trimming the fat more and more and more. They've already chopped off a big head of their staff. Now they're about to chop off another 20% of their staff. So unfortunately, people are losing their jobs. Step 2, you go look at the Showbox numbers. They're ranking 147th on the TV ratings. Showtime does better with fucking reruns, bro, than actual live boxing content. Do I want it to be this way? No, not on the surface. I didn't want it to be this way. I wanted to see them, succeed. But at this point, fuck them. It's time for them to go, bro. It's time for them, for their tent to fold. I need to see the rain on their parade. It is time for them to fold. So maybe another company can step in. I don't necessarily say Matchroom should get everybody. I'm not saying Top Rank should get everybody that's going to have to defect. But we need something else. Because what PBC is doing is an absolute travesty and disrespect to the sport of boxing. And then y'all turn around and say Terrence Crawford's off a duck. And at the same time, it's already confirmed that he has $25 million on the table. And Spence said, yo, talk to my advisor, right? Al said, I ain't letting nobody touch this fight. But Bud's cap. But Spence confirmed it, though. But your confirmation bias is so motherfucking strong, it don't matter what the truth is, because you hate a man so much, or you cape for a promotional company because you're sucking them off and they sliding you a little bread in your cash apps, you ain't no fucking integrity. Your fucking soul is for fucking sale. How many of you out there got your soul for sale? Suck ass bitches. That's what the fuck y'all are. But I ain't gonna knock your hustle, but just keep it a bean, homie. Seriously. Some of y'all got me blocked. Some of y'all talk all type of shit. No, not 100K, about 70 of it. Yeah, about 70. But I think I was up though. I started off with like I think I started like about 40 and I got up to 100 and then I catch it at about 28. So I lost about 11, 12 grand. I didn't lose like 100K per se. I was actually up and then it went down, you know, because the market took a beating. And then I made, well, it was as it was making a beat, I was getting a beating. As the market was getting beat, I pulled out and then I tried to make some moves on like some calls and some shorts and shit like that. And some of those didn't work out. So then at that point I said, let me just, you know, cash out where I'm at. Don't just take a little bit of loss and keep it moving. So that, you know, I can say I lost 100K, but no, I went from 40K to 100K and then ended up having to cash out at about 20 something. You know, took a little bit of a beat. But continuing on, Terrence Crawford, right? He just ducked, but it's already been proven that 25 million was there. It's been proven. Well, it hadn't been proven, but if we're gonna be real, he told them, I want to fight. You said, okay, hold up. Mark Nash, you don't think PBC should shut down? So you cool with more of this shit? You cool with the devaluing of belts, with Brody Romero getting title shots and then they're robbing the fighters that actually don't have, this is his only shot. This man, they say, is 40 years old. And then we talk about, oh, Charlo had history. He was dealing with mental health. So, you know, the WBC should let him keep his belt for 2 years. But then the fighter that just fought Brody Romero, in one of his fights he was fighting, his fucking wife was getting killed by a cartel during the fucking weigh-in. And he still went and fought and won. Give me a fucking break. PBC is clowns, bro. Bullshit. I call bullshit. I'm tired of it. Fuck out of here. You cool with that type of shit? You cool with this touch and go, this protection shit, this rig shit, the devaluing the belts, the fighters just sitting and sitting? You cool with people who put promotional companies over their boxer when they're supposed to be an advisor? No, fuck that. Fuck that, man. I'm sorry, Mark Nash. I love you, bro. I love your show, Breaking Beats. Y'all, matter of fact, sub up to my man Mark Nash TV. I enjoy one. You be on late when I be working overnight, but you just entertaining and you bring an element that I appreciate and enjoy, bro. So salute to you, man. Straight up. Oh, stock in Tesla and Apple from 15 years ago, some years ago. You caked up. You good to go. Those were guaranteed stocks. If you bought them, you know, early in the game, you're making money tenfold. You know, because they do splits and all that. So, okay, so you don't think it shouldn't shut down, but PBC is making so many moves that are detrimental to boxing. So how am I going to champion for that? How am I going to want them to continue on? Oh, hold up. Mark Nash in the building. Let me let my man in. Hold on 1 second. Mark Nash, what's good, my brother?
What up, dog?
All right, I got to hear your viewpoint because I understand that. I was where you were at until recently, but after this weekend's events and then I do all the adding of all the things that they've been doing, I come to the conclusion that I don't wish people to lose their jobs, but PBC got to go. For boxing to be able to, American boxing, damn, what happened? Come back on if you get a chance. I don't know what happened, my brother. I sure didn't kick you off. It just dropped off. Hope Nash, I get a chance to hop back on. I'll drop the link again just in case if anybody wants to jump on. But continuing on till Nash comes back in. Simple as this. It's really just like they found a great way to pin everything down on Terrence Crawford. And Terrence Crawford allowed them to do that. Terrence Crawford made mistakes in this. He shouldn't have had Bernie the Boxer, which I think is a goofy motherfucker, in my opinion. Talking about we signed everything, all that. See, that's the type of shit you get ammunition for. So that's why I say Bud's not, not 100% in the clear. But hold on, let me bring Nash back on. You the good there, brother? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My
All right,
bad, man. I just wanted to share your link before I joined the panel. I forgot to share the link.
Oh, it's okay. No doubt. I appreciate it, man. So I want to let you speak your piece on why you feel like you disagree with my point here, and
I missed that last part you said though, because it was chopping on my end. It wasn't you. You had said something about. I'm trying to get the correlation. Why do they need to shut down for business? Because you didn't like that decision of that fight?
I personally feel like for the betterment of boxing, PBC needs to be gone.
Okay, what happens to all their fighters then?
What's happening to them now, Nash?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like, what happens to
they sign somewhere else, and then they can be a more active fighter.
Is that an assumption that they're going to be more active just because they went somewhere else? That doesn't mean automatically Top Rank and Matchroom gonna just sign them all, and a lot of guys might not get signed to go to.
Okay. Oh, you breaking up? Can you hear me? Damn, you driving somewhere? You in the sticks, bro? I'm waiting to see if you come back on because I can't hear you. But I'm gonna go in and answer it. Hopefully you can hear me, and I'll repeat it if I have to. But okay, yeah, it's no guarantee that if the PBC shuts down and these fighters go, there's no guarantee they'll go to these promotional companies. But based on what we have currently right now,
did you hear me or did I black out?
You blacked out a little bit. I was about to answer the question, but let me go and let you finish your statement. The last thing you said,
you didn't like the decision of this one fight. Does that mean we got to shut down the whole company? That's all I'm saying.
It's not about this one fight, though. This was the last straw. See, for me, this was the last straw. This is, it's already heavy. It's a bunch of dog collar bullshit on it, and then that straw just made it just the weight just overpowered, and now it just caved in. So it ain't just this one thing. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because you know how they talk about belts don't matter, right?
Who said that?
There's a lot of boxing fans and content creators are speaking on that, saying, "Oh, belts don't matter no more anyway." You know why this is happening? Because PBC is creating that dynamic for it to have that have merit. When you have a Rolly Romero getting a belt, first of all, he shouldn't have had the opportunity. But since he's in the position to have the opportunity, then you go in and do your fight. If Rolly had went in and handled his business and won that fight, I could disagree with the fight he deserved a shot or not. But that means he won the fight. Clearly, he handled his business, and now we move forward, see what happens.
Didn't Gary Russell turn down the fight, and that's how Rolly got the slot, because Gary Russell said that's going back. Gary Antoine Russell said
I don't know, but who's Gary Antoine Russell
with? Or Antonio. Gary, I be getting them mixed up.
Yeah, but who is he? Who is he signed to?
He signed with PBC, if I'm not mistaken, right?
PBC has unfortunately created a mindset of the fighters to have this type of mindset. So because of what the foundation of PBC has laid,
but you can't get
the fighters having these type of mentalities.
But bro, I feel what you going on with that, but I was just trying to answer that one part when you was like, why is Rolly in this position? Because Gary Russell said that guy he was fighting was beneath him. He was like, it's like going backwards.
You said Puello? Because remember, it was Puello, bro. Are you forgetting it was Rolly versus Puello first?
I don't know what my device keep doing. It's like my phone keep trying to go to sleep.
Yeah, I know. Mine did that too. That's why E3 told me my phone was tripping, because I was trying to pull up something. Because you know Tony Weeks posted on Instagram before the fight about mistakes happen, right? Real fishy shit, bro.
He said that before the fight?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Hell yeah.
What day? What was he talking about? What fight was he talking about?
He just took a quote from Bruce Lee, said mistakes happen only if you know to admit them. And this was before the fight, bro. On his Instagram, before the fight.
Put it in context, though. What was he talking about, though? Was it another fight?
I'm gonna make my own conclusion because you did something so adverse. You gonna post something like that on your Instagram, a Bruce Lee quote talking about mistakes happen, and it takes a person to admit them, and then you turn around and stop a fight with a fighter that wasn't even landing any punches on a guy that was winning the fight clearly. Man, the fix is in, bro. The fix was fucking in. I'm sorry. Now I'm not going to. Anybody play devil advocate to it? That's cool. But I'm gonna call it for what it is, bro. The fix is in. The fix was in.
Yeah, that joint is just crazy. Look, I
Because
think
the
it was
money
a
is in
terrible
the
decision.
money is in a Rolly, and there's obviously more money in a Rolly versus Ryan Garcia fight than of a Russell. I mean, come on, this, but they
You blacked out. You blacked out.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. You blacked
Yeah, my
out.
phone went to sleep on me again.
Yeah,
It's
my
doing the
phone
same
doing
thing
it
to me.
too. I need to turn that off. Go
I
ahead.
know. I think I'm gonna do that too because I might have to keep on touching my phone. But oh yeah, shout out to my man Quentin Bradley, the leader of the TFT, the Thirsty for Tank. That's my man Q. But listen, Tank's a great fighter, bro. But this PBC shit has got to die. And I want to see what happens because if we see Tank fighting Pitbull, Cruz, or Rolly, it's only further submitting the points that I'm making because those are not bigger fights than fighting Devin Haney. They're not. Do you agree
Yeah,
with me on that? Are they bigger
I
fights than
agree with
Haney?
you. For me, no. I think that's
No,
a
for
huge
boxing is
fight.
not. Period.
For boxing as a sport, no. But look, man, I put a survey up. I'm gonna tell you some crazy shit, man. Pardon the background noise. I'm walking outside on
It's
the
all
phone.
good. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna do you like you do me. I ain't
Hey,
breathing on
look.
you. Breathe
Hey,
on the
look. That's
phone.
why I thought about it. I said, hold up. You better apologize, mute your mic or something, boy. You cannot have bad audio, Mark Nash, ever.
Yeah, you
But
can't have no audio problems as much as you dog me out when I be breathing heavy because my
oh
mic's so
man,
good at
you
work.
sound like you got sleep apnea, bro.
No, shut up. I gotta lose
uh,
20 pounds. Leave me alone.
Nigga got a CPAP machine at the crib, respectfully. All right. But look, man, here's the thing. I put a survey up, right? I don't know where it's at now, but it might. Last time I looked, it was like over 140, maybe 150 votes.
Okay. What the hell going on with you, bro?
I'm gonna switch over to my earbuds. So
Okay, cool.
tell me
I
how
was
this
like,
audio sound.
boy, it sounded like you was going through a fucking scan or something.
How this sound now?
Oh, you gravy, bro. Real clear.
All right, cool. So oh, over 150 votes. I'm asking people. I said, I just want to test the temperature. What's your level of interest in this fight? The undisputed Loma and Haney, right? Over the majority of the people saying they're not gonna buy it. It's not worth $59.99. The next lead was like 30-some% people telling me they're gonna still fight, stream it. Then some people are saying I have zero interest in this fight, and some people saying all I care about is Spence and Crawford. But the majority of the people are saying they're not gonna buy that fight, and it's on pay-per-view, and it's not worth $59.99, but it's an undefeated, undisputed champion versus a future Hall of Famer.
You know what? Do you know what that poll tells you, Mark Nash?
It's a
The American fan is fucking trash, and PBC has helped condition these dumbass people to run with this type of fucking buffoonery. That's why they need to go because they've conditioned the fans to be this fucking stupid. And I love Floyd as a fighter, but he helped condition this stupidity, bro. He has ushered in the stupidity era of boxing. That Tank versus Ryan Garcia is worth $85, but this fight is not worth $54.99. That's
well,
what they have
two.
conditioned the fan base to be to believe.
I'm gonna
American
play.
fans are
I don't
fucking
want to play.
stupid.
I don't want to play devil's advocate because I
You
don't think
can
the
dog
devil
the fucking
needs an
fan.
advocate. But I'm gonna give you a rebuttal though. How about that? Remember when
Absolutely.
Tim Bradley? Remember Tim Bradley beat Pacquiao? Pacquiao refused to do the rematch. That was to get his belt back. You know what he did instead? He fought Marquez for the fourth time and got his ass knocked out. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
He said that was a bigger fight. No belt. Me and Marquez is a bigger fight with no belt than me fighting Bradley, who just beat me for a belt. Because I think I won that fight. That
Okay.
was on Top Rank. That was not PBC.
All right, Joe, but check this out, though. There's a
This
couple
has
of
happened.
differences in what you just said, though. Both fighters are legitimate fighters who have proven themselves in the ring and have done certain things. So I understand the dynamic that you're presenting, and it's
4
respectable. But
fights.
you're talking about two fighters. You're talking about either fight that's chosen or fighters that are of value that have proven themselves in the ring with of their actual pugilistic value.
Mm.
Where's the pugilistic value in Ryan Garcia? He's only one step up from prospect. His fundamentals is trash. He got the fight because of his social media presence, not because of the boxing skill. I'm sorry. And
I agree with you on that, but people, some would say we'll never know how good Ryan could have been with all those stipulations that he had on him.
it wouldn't have been no different because Ryan Garcia don't have the fundamental abilities. But the thing is, though, that's why I have such an issue with PBC because PBC. The thing is, everybody thinks it's Tank doing this. No, it's PBC laying the foundation to make sure that their fighter has the best chance to win. And in some ways, I don't blame PBC for putting yourself in a position to have the best ability to win. But when you do it and you actually disrespect the sport of boxing, you go so far into the business side that you disrespect the competition and sport of boxing and devalue that aspect. That's where my line is drawn. When
fans don't value the shit though, man. You sound good.
No. Some ass fans don't value it. I need you to rephrase it. No, those are not fans. Those are people that only care about individual boxers or individual promotion companies. They're not fans of the sport in totality, bro. They're not fans of the sport in totality. They can tell you that, but their actions prove otherwise when you go look at the dynamics. I'm watching people coming up fighting. I don't get a chance to catch everything, but I am watching shit that I'm watching women's boxing about every other weekend. I'm trying to check about female boxing. A true boxing fan, some of them don't even do that. They don't care.
I was up at 4 a.m. watching Casamero fight the other day on Fight TV. I shared the link out, told people it was on. Some people watched it, some people didn't, but yeah. That shit was on at 4 a.m. in the Philippines.
Mark, you got to understand, it's less of us and more people who are actual casual fans that are masked as a true boxing fan, but they're truly nothing but high grade casuals, bro. Because American fan base is now shot to shit. Because
I agree. Charlo fought for Undisputed, didn't even fill the building up a third of the way,
and he's underserved. He's been underserved. See, this is where I'm not gonna let my disdain for what PBC does take away from what the good things they've done, or I think like that Castagna fight was a hell of a fight.
It's a great fight,
and they didn't have it on pay-per-view. I'll give them credit for that.
E3, they knew the market.
E3, you're right. There's nothing wrong with being a casual, but you know where there's a problem is? If you're a casual, just be a casual. But when you try to talk like you're an expert, you talk like you're really for the sport of boxing, but you're truly in a casual position, that's where the issue is. There's nothing wrong with being a casual, because I was a casual, I would say in the 80s and 90s. I only follow, only the top boxers. But I say about 2016, 2017, I started watching, all types of shit, people that nobody knew about, so I could understand who might be coming up. And I still have some casual tendencies. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the end all be all, but some of these people who be caping for people act like they are when they are nothing but a high grade casual, bro.
Absolutely, man. I was watching somebody's show. I ain't doing no shout outs. They was talking about this fight and Devin and Tank, and they was like, Tank is a star, he's a pay-per-view star, Devin is not. This, that, and the third. And then out of nowhere, I posed the question, who's buying the fight? Crickets. It was crickets in there. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I said, these dudes been up here talking about fighting and boxing and this lightweight division, and here you are with an actual pay-per-view worthy fight at a reasonable price, and it's crickets when it's talking about putting the support behind the fight. And the fighters, they did all that talking about Devin this, Devin that. I asked, are they going to buy the fight? Crickets. So I was like, so that's why Tank is a pay-per-view star. Oh, so okay, so y'all, they was like, and then I put you read the comments on that survey too. That's what made me put the survey up based off that panel I was on. And people was like, I'm not paying to see Devin jab all night. I was like, you need a jab to win the fight. Well, I don't like all that jabbing all night. 12 rounds of jabbing. I was like, that's how you win.
They want to see they want to see knockout. They want to see Gotti and Mickey Ward. They want to see a bunch of D and C class fighters just slug it out, rock'em sock'em robots. I mean, I ain't faulting for that, but that's what they want to see. They don't want to see high class real boxing.
You can watch that on Misfits. You can watch KSI and whatever they doing on Misfits and watch that. You can go to World Star and watch people just get knocked out. It's called boxing, not knockouts. You get what I'm saying?
And the thing is, Nash is going to ruffle some feathers, but this is a true issue. Us as a people, black people as a people in America, in boxing, some of us don't want to hold our own accountable. We'll cape for them no matter how much fuckery it is, bro. We won't say what it is, and then it is an issue if we actually give credit to somebody who has proven themselves as a boxer just because they're not black. This is the truth. I've dealt with this. When I started getting into the YouTube community, I'm not going to name the names because this is my shit and I don't give a fuck about talking about them, you know. But they were on your show and I had a cordial conversation with that person while they was on the show. But I knew in the back of my mind, this is the same motherfucker who questioned my blackness when I didn't been on picket lines and fought for people to have their rights restored in the state of New York and did real shit. And you going to question my blackness because I hold a promotional company that's quote unquote black to the fire because they move like a bunch of bitch ass niggas? Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know. I ain't gonna say nothing else. You know. So
Right.
that's the type of shit I got to see and deal with. That's the type of shit I had people telling me, fuck my mom, fuck my daddy, all this. I had people tell me, I hope I lose my job over a boxing opinion, bro. Whole ass shit.
Well, but listen, that's not just boxing though, bro. That goes beyond boxing. Like that's just this space, period. Like I've seen guys say the most egregious stuff on these airwaves just because they have a different of opinion. And that whether it's about relationships, whether we was talking about boxing, whether we was talking about hip hop, you know, I do all type of different type of
yeah, we talk a
content,
lot of shit.
and it never fails when people disagree, especially in this space. You say things to people that you would never say in their face, and if so, it's gonna
No
be some
problem.
furniture move. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Like it's gonna get physical. People kill each other for less. You get what I'm saying? In real
I
life.
get what you're saying. That shit caught me off guard, but okay. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the
So,
essence of us as a people, and when it comes to boxing and looking at the totality of boxing, I see. If you, some cases, this. I mean, there's not. Again, this is not a broad. I don't want to broad stroke this, but when I see a black person, giving Canelo props for some of the accomplishments he's had, I've seen him get all types of bullshit coming at him because of that. But and if you hold Boo Boo, if you think Boo Boo's whole career has been nothing but a shoulda, coulda, fucking woulda, and Charlo sitting around on the shelf like an heirloom for years, if you call those things out, there's something wrong with you. If you a black guy that says this, this is the type of shit. This is the type of shit that I see. Give me a fucking break. I'm gonna call a spade every motherfucking time, bro. Fuck out of here. I'm not gonna sit here and cape for an inactive fucking fighter. I'm not Superman. I'm not gonna cape. I'm not gonna care more about his fucking career than he does. Fuck out of here. It's fucking ridiculous, Mark.
yeah, I get where you're coming from, and trust me, I can understand your frustration. But that's
That's
a case by case scenario. That's not the story for everybody,
yeah,
right?
but when it
Everybody
comes to
got their own
the
journey.
boxing community, it actually is much more prevalent than just regular life shit on a day-to-day basis, right? Tell me if I'm
Say
wrong.
say that again, bro.
When we talk in YouTube boxing community, it's not a case by case situation. It's an actual bigger problem overall. This is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that actually
But
is a
boxing is tribal anyway. They've always, boxing is
so
tribal.
fair, fair. Yeah.
I see the Mexicans ride for the Mexicans. Like even when they know, like these guys ain't about to win this fight.
Yeah,
They
like
was,
Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank. We knew the Tank was gonna win, but
Mikey
no, he's
versus
gonna put up a
Spence.
good fight, which he did.
Yeah, Mikey versus Spence. Come on, fam. What you think about that?
Mikey Garcia versus Spence. We knew Mikey Garcia wasn't gonna be the beat Spence coming up two weight classes. I knew
Nah, bro.
he might be able to put up a fight, but I knew he wasn't gonna win that fight.
I was actually disappointed. Earl didn't hurt him even more. I was like, man, you got to put some more punishment on this dude.
Well, because
Drop
Mikey
him or
Garcia is
stop
a
him.
good enough fighter to be able to survive. That's what that was about. He was able to survive. He fought to survive after the second round, bro. But
Yeah.
the thing is, what I'm saying is this. This is the core of my issue with PBC as a company and how they move. All these things that we're dealing with now and what we're talking about is the things that PBC has painted a picture and lined up things to create these dynamics. And none of these things are beneficial to boxing. That's why I feel like they got to go. Fighters, for it to be normal for fighters not to fight for 2 years and be able to keep a belt, for a fighter to, because I took a big issue about that because who Rolly just fought, that man was at a weigh-in for a fight and his wife was killed by the cartel and that man still fought the next day and won. I don't want to hear about Charlo's shit. That's his personal shit. I hope it go well for him and all that. But fuck all that. We talking boxing. That's some bullshit, bro. You miss me with that bullshit.
I feel you on that. I do believe. Look, anybody who knows me. I'm a strong mental health advocate, right? I think there's nothing wrong with it. I definitely believe in our community. We always are told tough it up, or
Yeah,
like what you a home, like you going to a. Hey, Brandon, they be like, you go, like, yeah, man, you going to therapy, nigga? What you a homo or something? Like what?
Yeah. That is definitely not beneficial for us as a people. You were absolutely correct, no doubt. And I really encourage you to get that help.
But you can't. But in this sport, they do have remedies for stuff like this. They could have made him a champion in recess. 2 years. We're approaching 2 years, and now I get it. We getting 2 years with no explanation neither. It's like nothing in the explanation. It's nothing in the guidelines that we know of. Now, granted, if he's had a mental health crisis, last thing you want to do.
You just broke up a little bit. Damn it. I hate that when it happens. But when Mark Nance come back, this is what I'm saying. When you have situations like that, you have fighters with long, consistent, multiple high-end fighters with long histories of inactivity. You placing fighters in position for belts that they have not earned, devaluing the belts, and then using that as a term to say belts don't matter, but then using that as a term to benefit and say this fighter's a two-time champion. You want to have it both ways. Then you're fixing fights. Why the fuck would I want something if a company does all that? Why the fuck do I want them around? Why would I want them around if they're doing all that shit and it's proof that they're doing all that shit? Why would I want them around?
Now, my thing is this. I don't know for certain Tony Weeks was quote unquote bought off, but I can definitely say that was a terrible decision. I just want to be on record of saying that terrible. And I expect more from Tony Weeks. If he wasn't bought off, he need to retire because that was bad.
Check this out, Mark. Let's say he didn't get paid off and nothing like this, but they say, hey, when you referee this fight, if that guy looks like he's in trouble at any point in time, you make the call. Because if it was the other way around, would they have called that him?
I doubt it.
Exactly. So if anybody tells me otherwise, I'll be like, miss me with that bullshit. For me, it's miss me with that bullshit, bro. Seriously. Everybody gonna cape for this shit. Anybody who's more on a promotional side or a fighter side, and they say, oh, you hating on Rolly. No, I'm not hating on Rolly. Rolly ain't shit in the ring. But if Rolly went in there and handled his business and was whooping homeboy's ass, I'm like, all right, Rolly didn't deserve the title, but he whooped homeboy's ass and he got the title, so now what's next? But he didn't do that. And him and his trainer there had to clean it up as best as possible and say, hey, this fight should have continued. Because they can't just walk around with the confidence and say, oh, we the champions like that. Because they know they didn't earn that shit, bro. If
that's a good thing. Well, that's a good thing. That's a damn good thing. At least he knows he didn't win. I don't know where you blacked out on my last part. I don't know if my phone went dead, but did you hear me when I said like, yo, they should at least put Charlo a champion in recess or something?
Yes, I heard all that. You only blacked out for like 15 seconds max. I heard all that, and then I went on a tangent about all the things that PBC has done, and say if you were dealing with a company like that, would you want them to say around and knowing they've done all these things? But hold on one second. Let me bring my brother onto the panel too. So we got my man E Thriller, the Black Picasso, Go Thriller, aka Lakers gonna win it all. Yeah, fucking right. What's up, brother?
Hey, yo, Brim, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I ain't on my computer, man. You know, I got a couple of minutes at work, man. Shout out to everybody on the panel. What up, Mark Nash? Shout out to everybody in the chat. What's going down,
Peace, bro? Peace.
Man, you know I'm spazzing because the straw has broken the camel's back for me, and I personally feel like if PBC goes, it's going to be beneficial for boxing overall because they're doing too many things that is a detriment to boxing, and us American fans are so dumb that they roll with that shit, and it's gotta stop somewhere. The buck's got to stop.
Well, I always say the same shit that you're just now starting to say, but I'm gonna take it a step further because I kind of wanted to piggyback off of the point that you just made about the belts don't matter shit, right? So why isn't that the case whenever Earl Smith was collecting all these fucking straps before he faced Terrence Crawford? Is this like on a case by case basis?
It's
What
no,
would
it's
you
called
say to
having
that?
it both ways, bro.
And
They
see,
want
that's why I
they
think
want to
this
say
shit is
belts don't matter
bullshit.
if the situation is going to be beneficial for them when it's a situation if the belt don't matter. But belts matter for situations that's going to benefit them when them belts do matter. They want to have it both ways. Just like Al
Exactly.
Heyman wants it both ways with looking out for his fighter and looking out for the networks. This fuck shit can't work, man.
Hey man, I totally agree. I didn't come on here to argue with you. Hey, you spot on this topic, but that's pretty much all I wanted to ask. But I got to get back to work.
No doubt. Well, I appreciate you pulling up on me. You know, I'll see you tonight because I'm off tonight. So, I'll be there to rant. But I'm going to probably be a lot calmer when y'all come in because I didn't get all my vitriol out of my system right now because I've really reached the breaking point. I'm really at my breaking point right now.
Yeah, I mean the PBC sucks, bro. They the king of selling us lopsided ass matchups that we didn't ask for and that we didn't want to see. And then the fights that we do get, they pretty much turned out as being lackluster. So it is what it is, bro. But I'm gone, bro.
No doubt,
Get
bro.
out of here.
Appreciate you, man.
Y'all tripping, man. So Top Rank don't do that too?
See, the thing
The
is,
zone
Frank
match
does
roll.
do
Hold
it.
on, hold on, hold on. Let me give
I'm
you a
glad
little
you
bit back.
mentioned it.
Look, nobody asked for that Canelo fight that he just fought with that guy, that John Ryder fight.
Yeah,
Like
but
you get it with Matchroom, you gonna get it with Match.
okay,
Hold on,
but hold on.
okay. You don't even want the smoke. You don't even want the smoke.
No, I got a rebuttal for that easily, though. Okay, you're talking about a fighter who fought the person that Boo Boo said no to. That could have been Boo Boo in that position, right? That guy earned his shot. He earned his shot. It isn't like he just picked him. This was a mandatory that earned his shot because he fought somebody that Boo Boo wouldn't fight. And also, when you're every single fight, when you're the big guy, can't be absolute top marquee every single fight. You remember how Joe Louis used to say bum of the month club? That means that he fight a great fighter, that he fight somebody else. You can't every fight can't be a mega fight. Every fight can't be a mega fight, bro. There's got to be people that got to get a shot, and Ryder earned that shot. So listen. I have my issues with Matchroom. I have my issues with Top Rank. Nobody's perfect. I feel like Top Rank do a lot of when they say WBO stands for whatever Bob ordered. In some cases, that's true. But one thing that Top Rank has that the PBC doesn't have. They have a sink or swim program. They will put fighters in the ring to see if they have it or not versus quality competition. PBC stacks the cards as exhibition showcases every fucking time. PBC don't do nothing. When we look at with that tank card, right, versus Garcia, not Ryan, but Hector Garcia, it was nothing but lopsided showcases. The only reason why we got an upset because we had a fighter that had 16 months of inactivity and got tired at the end and ended up getting his ass whooping, which he still actually won the fight, but because he got dominated at the end, they didn't give the fight to him. Am I wrong, Mark?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
PBC will never give us true 50-50 fights unless they can slant the scales in every facet. At least Top Rank will put their fighter through the fire to prove that they're worthy to be championship caliber. They have an actual program where the fighters will fight to see if they have it or not. I don't like the fact with the Baturbiev and Bivol, the whole thing. I feel like Top Rank is mostly to blame for that. But when it comes down to quality fights and fighters fighting fighters that is of quality in a term of competition of the sport, keyword sport of boxing, Top Rank at least fulfills that. With their flaws and all, they fulfill that. PBC makes it their business not to. And either the Canelo fight was, we say it's trash, but the fight actually was pretty good. It was a pretty good fight. It's just that Ryder is not the person that we would consider pay-per-view worthy. And when they first announced it, when they first announced Canelo and Ryder, they announced it wasn't like it wasn't going to be a pay-per-view, but it ended up having to be a pay-per-view because they did it in Mexico, and they couldn't cover all the salaries and everything with it just being Mexico because it's not Vegas. They're not charging the same prices in Vegas as they are in Mexico, you know. But it is what, and the reason, and another reason why Canelo's pay-per-view numbers, which now take a hit, which leads to another issue. People have confirmation biases so bad that Rick Glazer can say this did a little over 200,000, they run with it. But when he say Tank did only 61, it's cap. They want it both ways, bro.
I agree with that.
It's goofy.
I
shit,
definitely agree with that.
It's goofy shit. But here's the deal, though. The reason, but the thing is, Canelo and Ryder did bad, not because did bad. Because it would have did 400,000 if Matchroom and the Zone didn't fuck up the Tank and Ryan fight. People got charged 8 times for it. Some people weren't even able to watch the fight. Consumer confidence in the Zone took a hit. It directly affected Canelo's fight. If I don't trust you, I ain't gonna give you my fucking money. Right?
I don't know if that's true, man. I don't believe all those people said that
Bro,
bank.
there's people that printed show proof of it already, bro. The
Did
Zone
that
admitted
bank
it, bro.
charge them? Hold up. What bank are you banking with that'll let you get hit 8 times for the exact same charge? I mean, down to the penny from the exact same merchant, back to back to back to back to back, back to back to back. 8 times? Like, nigga, I bank with Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase. None of them would ever do that. Man, I use my card in Vegas. They'd be like, hold up. Your card is being used in Vegas. Like, it'll be a stop. Like, be like, yo,
You
is
know,
this you, nigga?
that's
I go to Jamaica, they do the same thing. Like, hold up, whoop, is this you, nigga? Text me or
when you
something.
overseas, that's gonna do that. I mean, but TD Bank, I got a situation where somebody was able to pull $2,000 out of my account one time, and I didn't get no notification. I found out, and then I had to tell them. So that's neither here nor there. But hold on one second, my brother. I got somebody that's about to step into the building. I want to let them know. Let everybody know Quentin Bradley, the leader of the Buddies for Bloodless, the king, the absolute king. Actually, no, he's not the king. That's Big Fish. But he's the second man in charge of the Thirsty for Tank, the TFT list. Give it up for my man, Quentin Bradley. What's up?
Bro, what's up, bro? Mark Nash, what's good with you, man?
Peace, my brother.
A little afternoon vent because the straw broke the camel's back for me after this weekend. I was already on the fence, feeling like I don't want people to lose their job, but this is getting ridiculous, bro. And I want to hear I know you're going to be contrarian, so please, the floor is yours, my brother.
Hey, man, check this out. You know, I watched the fight this weekend, and you know, I'm all in with Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hear nothing. Tank done replace Earl for me right now, right? It's all about Tank. I don't even debate for Earl no more because I got to see some fighting. I got to see them 2 niggas fighting for me to even get interested, right? But I tell you what, man, you know, to support my propaganda as far as, you know, the last discussion that we had when I told you, when we was talking about the face of boxing, one of the criteria is you're supposed to elevate people that you fight even after a loss, right? So Rolly having this title fight, you know, I wanted him to win to quote unquote support my propaganda, right? But man, I ain't gonna lie, man. This is one of the first times that I went with a boxer to win. And they gotta win, and even right now, that shit don't even feel right or sit right, bro.
I respect you for saying that. Because I mean, you could easily toe that line and roll with the propaganda team. I had to deal with that on Mark Nash's show with this dude. I forgot his damn name, but he was on that propaganda bullshit. I respect it. Even Rolly admitted that, but I think that was part of the plan. Is Rolly gonna have to admit that, so you know he'll get too much backlash for him personally. The backlash will go to other people. But
there go to Tony Weeks. But I will say this, Brim. them. I've always said that the belts don't matter, just as well as a boxing fan. I would love to see Devin Haney if he get past Loma. That's gonna be a big if, because I don't know if he gonna get past Loma or not.
Mark Nash don't agree with you though. I bet he think Haney gonna win clean.
He gonna beat him easy. He gonna beat him easy.
Oh, no, it's just two things that got me worried about that fight. And one, the actual fight itself. I don't know what Devin gonna do with Loma on the inside, because I'm not impressed with the Huggies sponsorship that I know Devin got to have. You know what I'm saying? He got to have a sponsorship by Huggies. You know what I'm saying? Because he made the statement that Loma is a dirty fighter, and I ain't never heard nobody say that about Loma. But he calling Loma dirty because he see what Loma does to people that try to do that clinch and hug shit. And that ain't dirty. They say protect yourself at all times. He's not going to be able to do that shit with Loma. That's why I'm curious as to how the fight going to go.
Was that the police in the background pick up Tony Weeks for you, Q?
What about Tony Weeks?
I heard the police coming. That sounded like they need to be going to pick up Tony Weeks right now.
Shit, we need to pick up Tony Weeks, and we need him to ref the Loma fight.
You want this shit? See, that's the problem, bro. Why are we encouraging this fuck shit, bro? Why? Why are we encouraging this shit, bro? Why are we doing this, man? You killing me right now.
Man, I bet 50. Nonsense. Then I bet 50 on Loma. No.
You know what's so crazy? They cost me some bread though, because I did an $8 bet on against Rolly for a decision, right? I would have got $230 over $8.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. He wasn't gonna win no decision, boy. If Tony Weeks hadn't done what he did, he would have fucked up the apple cart. He would have fucked up the church's money. No.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you're disrespecting the sport by doing it. And I'm not going to pretend that PBC is the only one that's ever did that. But when you got all this inactivity, all these, if you look at their top fighters, if you take the top 15 fighters that PBC that anybody would consider, out of those 15, at least 10 of them have year-long inactivity. Inactivity is an issue. Then you playing it both ways, where you have conflicts of interest, where you have somebody Tim Brown runs PBC, right? No, he's just the front man. So you got Al Heyman with a conflict of interest from network to fighter, where now we got to get in the fights that we want to get because you're looking out for the network instead of the fighter's best interest. That's two. Then you got protections where you only putting fights together that you know that you're like 98% chance you're going to win. They're not taking any risk whatsoever. So now you're hurting the fans doing that. Then you got it where you're devaluing the belts by putting rollies in position to win belts, but then using it to your advantage to build up other fighters. They're playing bullshit games, and it's hurting boxing, and they need to go. It's at the point where they got to go. Because if you was doing business with, if any of us was in a position where we were doing business, whatever field it is or whatever sport it is, and this was the dynamics we get, we want them gone. We would want them gone, and y'all might not admit it to yourself, but the truth of the matter is, we would want them gone because that's low integrity, it's low vibrational, and it's fucking up the overall sport.
But Brim, you know it's not gonna happen though, right? You want to know why, Brim?
No, you know it is gonna happen. Showtime, bro. Paramount. Go look at what another 25% layoffs are coming, bro. Paramount probably is not going to keep boxing on their website. If they do, it's going to be at a much lower rate. Because go look at the Showbox numbers, bro. They be placing at 148 with 100,000 views, bro. Ain't nobody watching.
They'll go find something else.
Weeds and do better numbers, bro.
They'll go find something else.
They're gonna have to, but you know what they need to find? Maybe if PBC went to the zone, it'd be a little better. Because now we got less promotional companies close to the umbrella. Maybe we might be able to get more of the fights a little bit more. But I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of PBC, and I think they're a detriment to boxing. And it's got to, this can't continue. This cannot continue and boxing grow because it's only going to go the opposite direction. If you don't want to admit that, then that means that you're complicit for this shit. Because we got too much evidence of this, and then we use this to say, "Oh, Bud's ducking Errol Spence, Bud's doing this," but all this fuck shit PBC doing, but we don't want to read between the lines. And now we're hearing about this $30 million the Saudis offer for the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight, and Errol Spence didn't even know about the rejected offer.
Hold on. I got two questions, Brim, because I see Earl came out with that tweet, and I see the fans on both sides is twisting it to whatever fits their narrative. I'm seeing it from the Bud Crawford fan side of twisting it, saying that he was talking about Al Heyman, just as well as I'm seeing it from the.
Carl, you breaking up on me. Damn, I can't have no more panel guests. Only I'm limited. So if anybody's trying to get on, you gotta wait. I ain't pay for no subscription. Q, can I Q?
Long so somebody else come on.
I'll slide off. I'm gonna jump back.
I want you to speak, bro. Go ahead, my brother.
Then you got people on the Earl Spence side hollering that he talking about Bud stalling on the contract. My question is, how can anybody from any side just necessarily say that he's talking about Al Heyman or he's talking about Bud? How can anybody just come up with their determination, their assumption of, oh, he got to be talking about this? Okay. That's my question.
So check this out. I commented on that post and I said, I hope you're not talking about boxing. Because what you're saying is 100% legitimate because we don't know. But I said, I hope you're not talking about boxing because I'm hearing that you didn't even know that $30 million that was offered from the Saudis was rejected and you didn't even know about it. I said, I hope. But see, the thing is, I go off the evidence of things in the past in your tendencies, and the tendency of how PBC is moving, and the fact that Alto Bud ain't nobody else getting this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. He rejected that and didn't tell Earl shit because Earl has nothing but faith and confidence in Al. So we don't know. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm not gonna sit here and be on the propaganda machine and say it definitively. He was talking about he knows his promotional company and his advisor is fucking around with him right now because he could have easily been talking about basketball, bro.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, I think Errol Spence is seeing things that he didn't see before. And
but hold on, Brim.
Very good.
Watch this.
He sees the bullshit now.
Just like you want to say going off past tendencies, you can flip that the other way as well, to where you got past tendencies of an individual that's talking about the fight is past him, the fight is beneath him. You got past tendencies of one person always shooting the fight down all the time, to where you have people that want to make that assumption. They can do the same thing that you're doing.
And you know
if we going off of past tendencies.
You're right, Q, and I said that earlier in this show, is that I said, like, I thought Bernie the Boxer was a goofy for saying that they signed everything. And that's why I always said Bud Crawford is not blameless in this situation. But part of a lot of those statements that you talk about, part of that was frustration as well. Part of that is
exactly. It was reactive. It was reactionary.
Seeing that PBC is intentionally putting up a tent, saying you're not even in the picture. We're not going to consider you. We're going to let you get devalued, and then we're going to A-side your ass because we're not going to fight you, because we're not going to give all the belt to you, because we're not going to take any risk, because we're going to make sure we have all the cards stacked in our favor in every capacity without actually caring about the sport of boxing. So you're right about that, Q, but a lot of that was reactionary.
But Brim, just like Earl Spence shouldn't have never said at that moment when him and Bud Crawford was face to face, he shouldn't have never said he taking the easy route, regardless of what he meant by at that time and at that moment. He shouldn't have never made that statement.
I agree.
Frustration or not, Bud should have never made that statement because you give people that quote unquote don't support him or don't favor him, you give them the ammunition to say, quote unquote, he's the one who don't want the fight because he's the only one that's always shot the fight down. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, he's not the only one. Let me reply to the brother. I've heard Errol Spence say, not just like it's been so many different things. Even before the easy route, it was get a belt first. People forget that. Then it was the easy route. Then it was the wrong side of the street. I remember one time he was doing a press. He was like, I can fight I can fight Canelo. I can fight Keith Thurman. I got options. Like he was always he devalued the fight. He was saying stuff as well. And a lot of times that Terrence Crawford stuff was reactionary. I remember when Terrence, the first time they went back and forth on Twitter crazy. Something happened in the middle of that, and like it was almost Spence was like, "This ain't how you gonna get the fight," basically. And they end up talking, and then they came back on Twitter, and he said, "I just talked to Spence. We're gonna make the fight happen." And he left him alone. It was almost like, "Hey, bro, you keep talking this shit online, you ain't gonna never get the fight." And Terrence backed off of him and left it alone again. So a lot of the stuff, that stuff was reactionary. Like even look, they paid step aside money to fight Ugas instead of Crawford when he was a free agent. They didn't even make any negotiations, no offers. It was never in the plans to fight him until it was at the end because they wanted the leverage, like Brent was saying. It was about leverage too. Yeah, so that's my take on that right there. I just don't. I think a lot of that stuff Bud was saying, it was always in reaction to what was saying or what was being done, and I agree with him. I don't think he should have said that. I think it was out of
Hello?
frustration. But yeah, you back now.
Oh, okay, my bad. It went off whatever. But you know what, Mark Nash?
Give me one
This is.
give me 1 second, Superior David. I just want to give a shout out real quick. Shout out to Latch
Oh, go ahead.
Lost Art of Boxing. The two good brothers. I appreciate y'all pulling up on me, man. Listen, we talking about the PBC die. What's the issues? And you know what happened this weekend in the fuckery. Now, back to you, Superior Davis. I'm sorry.
No, now this is the question, and this is the conversation that nobody never wants to seem to have, but it's one that truly gets ignored, right? A lot of times, we as boxing fans, we want these cross promotion fights or whatever, right? We don't care about the networks. We don't care about none of that, right? Which we don't as fans. We're not supposed to, right? But at the same time, I hear a lot of dudes on this YouTube that cry, whine, complain for Bud Crawford and what he should get and things of that nature. But the same people that I see on YouTube that do that, they are the same people that do not. And I ain't talking about individually. I'm talking about as a fan base as a whole, do not support their own fighter, whether it's Bud Crawford, whether it's Devin Haney, whether it's whoever. The fights that we as boxing fans say we want to see, us as boxing fans don't do our part to quote unquote support these boxers or these fights that we quote unquote we say we want to see, because I feel like it would probably been a greater chance maybe earlier if some of these fighters, their fan bases was truly supporting them, because they get more support on the YouTube than they do in real life. Devin Haney just got booed in his own hometown in Las Vegas. Devin Haney don't get nowhere near the support he should get. Bud Crawford don't get nowhere near the support he should get. It doesn't matter how many David Avocados he fight. If he had a true fan base, that's why I say if he would have got that Pacquiao fight when he was at top rank, both of them was at top rank, hands down 110%, it wouldn't be too much of an issue as far as the money with them, things of that nature, right? Because Bud would actually have a true fan base if he could have got the Pacquiao fight, because a lot of them would have gravitated to Bud.
All right, now.
All I'm hearing.
You made some really solid points, but I got a little something for you though.
Oh, give it to me.
Now I want to make sure I explain this properly to you, and you really understand. So it is a fact that Haney and Bud, when we look at it as of currently right now, they have not gotten as much support as they should have, and this leads all that. But when it's being used to not fight these guys over other people who don't even have a headline card resume, is disingenuous. That's step one. That's the issue number one. Did you use it against these guys, right? But then you turn around and you're wanting to fight somebody else that hasn't even headlined a card.
But where they at though, Brim? They not cross. Where they at though, Brim?
No,
You're trying to make a comparison, but what's the difference though?
The thing is, though, okay, but the thing is, when you got Tank's trainer saying that Haney got to prove something, but fucking Brody don't, but fucking Pitbull, who has still never headlined a card, doesn't have to. It's disingenuous. It's a reason to duck fighting the fighters where the fight at hand is not clearly 100% on your side, where if you do your job, you know you're going to win. And this is the PBC way, and this is why I think they need to go, because they have no sink or swim program. They do not put their fighters through any real fire.
Chris Colbert went through some fire.
Let me finish, bro. As good as I think Tank is, he has truly not been in a position since Pedraza to actually show us. Even though I think he has the ability to beat everyone. He can beat everyone. But the promotional company is so fucking scary and so bitch made that they have to do a lot of fuck shit instead of just putting them in the ring versus somebody this that we consider credible and a person that he may not beat, and just show us that he is. That's the issue.
But as fans, that's what I'm trying to tell you, Brim. As fans, we haven't and still haven't done our part to support these fighters, to where that excuse that they try to make that be preventing us from getting the fights cannot be made. That's what I'm saying.
And you know what?
Us as fans, we ain't done our part.
You're absolutely right. Thing is, though, does that excuse this fuck shit that they doing? Does it excuse it? Just because because Bud is doing 150K pay-per-view instead of 350K pay-per-view, that allows them to do that means they're good to do that fuck shit? Just because Haney and Loma may not do more than 220,000 pay-per-views, that excuse them saying we'll rather fight Pitbull Cruz, even though we only did 49,000 pay-per-views when we fought him before and he's never headlined the card. Fuck no.
I want to reply to it. Brim is 1,000% right with that. PBC did come into the game telling us they were going to bring boxing back to regular TV. That ship sailed very quickly, and then it sunk like the Titanic. Like they started putting we was getting Andy Ruiz versus Areola pay-per-view, Thurman versus Barrios, both coming off losses. Barrios had a knockout loss. You get what I'm saying? And then his next fight is for the WBC. Him and Keith Thurman fighting for the WBC #1 spot. His first fight up there after getting his ass kicked.
You're making a solid point, but hold on one second. I got another brother I'm bringing into the panel. Let him get a couple minutes to speak his piece, and then we all can chop it right back up where we was at. So give it up for my man. Talk to me, brother.
Shit, what's good? Nah, I seen Mark. He was about to cook. I'll just wait till he get done.
All right, go ahead, finish cooking, Mark. He said he want to let you finish cooking.
I'll keep it quick. I'm just saying they start giving us paper stuff that was not pay-per-view worthy. Andy Ruiz is now pay-per-view star. He fighting Areola. Keith Thurman versus Barrios, both coming off losses. Then you get who else fought? Andy Ruiz fought. What's the other guy? Ortiz. Like we were getting fights like that on pay-per-view that shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. Now they got me early in the year because I was like, all right, $40. That's not bad. I'll pay $40 for it. I shouldn't have bought it because that I was part of the problem. supporting those things. But then you get this fight right here with Haney and Loma. This is a pay-per-view worthy fight. This fight matters. It's undefeated, undisputed versus a future Hall of Famer. This fight matters. And people are telling me, oh, I ain't gonna buy it because Haney gonna jab. We know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen until we see the fight. We gotta see it. So I just hate the energy where I don't want to watch Haney jab and hold all night. But you ain't gonna pay pay-per-view to see Bud knock niggas out all night neither though. Because he on the knockout streak. You get what I'm saying? And you won't pay for his fight neither. I think fans are fans of YouTube daddies. They fans of boxers and their character and their personality more than their fighting style. There's no reason why Bud Crawford shouldn't be a big pay-per-view guy. You know what I'm saying? He knocking dudes out. He's staying out of trouble. We ain't out here like Ja Morant and Wilder catching gun charges and shit. Like, I mean, this shit is crazy, man. Don't get me on it, but I'll pass the mic. Go ahead, Q.
Go ahead, Q. And by the way, everybody sub up to the Lost Art of Boxing, my peoples. Whoever, paying attention to my bullshit, y'all make sure y'all sub up, man, the Lost Art of Boxing. Go ahead and speak up, my brother.
Oh, my bad. I had my shit on mute. Shit, damn, I ain't gonna lie. Shit, Marcus, yeah, Marcus speaking facts, bro. Real talk. And I'm a buy the Devin Haney and Loma fight. You know what I mean? For the simple fact, and I'm on record not being, well, I ain't gonna say not the biggest fan because I am a fan of Devin Haney, but I've been critical of his performances. Me, as far as a boxing fan, I'm a performance-based boxing fan. I pay for what I like to see. If it's something I necessarily don't want to see, I won't pay for it. Now, when it comes to Devin and Loma, that's something I feel like I'm gonna pay for because even though I feel like Devin can win and is going to win, I just feel like that it's a chance Loma could win. Like it's not one of them sure things. Like I'm tired of the normal, what is starting to be normal now, that you already know the outcome of a fight due to the matchup. Lopsided ass shit. You know what I mean? And just like I think it was Brown was speaking on it earlier about that sink or swim shit. They don't got that. PBC literally has the biggest upsets most of the time. And I ain't gonna say biggest because they don't, like the stars, but it's like, bro, Colbert lost and El Rayo lost. Like them niggas was not supposed to lose, and they had to end up fighting each other kind of to shake back. But it really was no consequence to them losing to somebody that inferior. They getting another chance. And they ain't the only people that do it, but like how they promote some of them guys, it like it's hard for me. Not I ain't paying for no fight that I can't make no money on the odds. You know what I'm saying? I already lost a gang of money fucking around with these niggas on these lopsided ass odds, thinking they gonna knock them out, and then they go 12 and I lose all my goddamn money because I ain't lock them out. Boots. You know what I'm saying? Bullshitting. But I mean, like when it comes to this boxing shit, I just feel like, man, they bullshit, but sometimes we do bullshit. I can't think of a fight that Bud had that I didn't pay for that was pay per view. Hell, I mean, Earl last what I paid for the Ugas pay per view. I ain't paid for the Danny, but I paid for the Sean. You know what I'm saying? So, like, man, I did it because I felt like they was gonna fight. Now they just got niggas in a ringer, bro. They got people out here, man. Fake news. They telling you when they gonna fight, bro. When that shit is just, man, it's too much in the air. Me personally, I just sit back and just take what they get me. I ain't one of them people that argue about what I don't get no more, bro. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
card, brother. I got a question for you though. The whole
What's
topic
up?
of this conversation for me is because of what they did with Rolly, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I feel PBC folding is beneficial for boxing. Do you disagree with me or agree with me?
You said PBC is what to boxing?
If PBC folds, will it be a benefit for boxing or no?
Oh, fuck, man. shit, I don't know. I would see how what I think. I mean, maybe those guys that they got could go to a different promotional and we could get more fights. But shit, I mean, right now, fuck, I can't even see boxing without PBC, man. Them
I sure
motherfuckers got a
can.
strong hold on what they got.
I sure can. Because the thing is,
Uh,
go look at the top 15 fighters, bro.
hmm
If you listen to,
I can't. They got the product.
cut it out, Q. Stop the madness now. The propaganda machine has to stop it.
All the fighters that everybody want to see, the majority of them is on
You
PBC.
fucking
Hands down.
what
That the majority of the fighters.
fights we want to see this on PBC, bro? They only got two fucking fighters is of notable worthy at this point. Everything else is all gas and huff and tank. Are you kidding me, Q? Did you
Q,
Roger.
see that
if
PBC?
that was true, they would be doing AJ and Canelo numbers. They're not.
Let me finish,
I
Lars,
mean,
because this is nonsense. You just upset my apple cart with that bullshit you just gave. But when you said that, like, are you kidding me? The thing is, I used to champion PBC. You talked to me in 2015, I'm like, yo, PBC for the change the game, bro. You know, the only thing they did, fighters made more money than they ever made before. That's the only thing they did. But the problem is the fighters were making more money fighting motherfuckers that wasn't worthy for the money they was getting, and they were being conditioned to be bitch made and to ask for a certain amount of money that they wasn't worth. And now when times get real, this is the dynamic that we have here now. But again, gentlemen, I cannot sit here with a straight face and tell you that a company that has a person that is the advisor that advised for the network of Fox and Showtime instead of their fighter Deontay Wilder for $100 million deal, and Deontay Wilder admitted it was more money and a better deal. He looked out for the best interest of the network instead of his fighter. With that conflict of interest, so having that dynamic, then the dynamic of where fighters are not fighting, going 2 years without fighting, a year and 6 months without fighting. And that was leading the statement I was going to say, Q, and I'm glad I remembered it. If you look at the top 15 PBC fighters that you would consider, if you wrote them down, I guarantee you more than half of them have over a year of inactivity. So how the fuck are they so valuable if the fighters can't even get in the fucking ring? The reason why people are getting hurt, the reason why younger Charlo got hurt, because they over fucking training and not fighting enough. Back in the day, they didn't do all this fucking training and not fighting. That's why people are getting strains and injuries and shit like that, because all they do is train. They're not fucking fighting. So you got no fights happening. You have a whole bunch of conflict of interest. Then you have lopsided showcases where they're not putting none of the fighters in true positions where we wonder if the fight's going to be questioned. And all we do is get upsets because we expect the other fighter to win, but they lose because they're not being conditioned properly as a fighter. So that's three issues. Now we got issues where fighters are getting belts that don't deserve shots at getting belts. Like, it ain't just Rolly, it's Danny Garcia. What the fuck did he do to earn a 160 shot? At 147, he wasn't nothing but the ultimate motherfucking tune-up, right? So they're putting fighters in positions to get belts that don't earn them, but then they say belts don't matter, but then they use belts as a factor to pick their fighters up when the fighters who don't deserve them get belts. So they're playing it both ways, and doing a bunch of fuck shit, and we're letting it pass. That's four. Now, issue number 5, which really takes the cake for me, and that's was the needle, the needle that broke the camel's back. When you're willing to cheat another fighter so blatantly, so disrespectfully, because Tony Weeks didn't just stop this fight on just his era. I don't give a fuck what nobody can tell me different. I'm not gonna say it's Showtime, but it's sure fuck.
Brim.
Now, hold on, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, what was the last thing I said? Because my phone went to sleep.
You said something about that Tony Weeks didn't just do that on his own.
Okay, got you. Because PBC has too much money into a potentially Rolly and Ryan Garcia fight. It upsets the apple cart for them to be able to hold on to that 140 belt, that WBA strap, for them to let a person who nobody knew about, that we were saying was 72 years old in the face and win that belt. But that man was clearly, completely robbed of the opportunity. And these guys risking their lives of going to the ring and to do something like that, I don't want them around. Fuck their business. That's 6 reasons why I want PPC to fuck. And I don't see any reason for me to want them to be there. They don't
But you
deserve.
know, the Zone has done this. Top Rank has done this. Matchroom has done this as well. We just can't just single out PBC.
Okay.
I've seen these as well.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned it because I just said Top Rank got flaws, Matchroom got flaws. They done that in the clear. They do some fuck shit too. But does both of these companies do all 6 of the things that I just said PBC does? And also, the overseas fan is not as delusional and fucking shot in the brain as we are in America.
And
Do all 6 of the things I just stated that PBC does. They don't.
yeah, them niggas, man, them niggas kind of. It's. I mean, how I was seeing it, like watching it in the moment. You know, I felt like boxing took a big ass hit for the simple fact, like I'm sitting there thinking, like, I hope it's not a UFC fan or whoever fan of Tank. Like, man, that's the dude Tank knocked out, and I'm gonna just pull up and watch it. I hope they didn't tune in to see that disgrace for boxing. Like, damn, that's what I just hope. That shit alone. But then on top of that, it's the fact where I man, that nigga Al Heyman keep all that shit covered. Like, nigga, if you ain't got the refs, I know I got the referee. I mean, if you ain't got the judges, I know I got the referee. Like, and that's clearly kind of looked like what it was. You know what I mean? And then it looked like Steven Espinoza wasn't even in the loop about that shit. He was like, man, he couldn't stand by that shit. You know, that's the shit he helped putting on. So like that just fuck up what Showtime could possibly got going on with PBC, like depending on the backlash that they get from that, because that wasn't even a good look for that platform. And a lot of egregious shit been done in boxing, but you know what I mean? Even Berlanga biting old boy, man, even when he getting beat up on, like that right there, it's real bad. I done seen people that been watching this boxing shit for a long ass time, over 30 years, talk about that's one of the worst stoppages they seen. You know
For
what I'm saying?
real.
So
You're right. I was on Bruce Jazz and boxing, man. Shout out to my fellow boxing comrade. He stated this is probably the worst stoppage he's ever seen, and he's been watching boxing probably since 79, 80, probably before then. My
yeah,
first boxing match I
60s.
ever seen was in 1983 as a 5-year-old kid, and I'm gonna tell you this: I've never seen something so blatant, something so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have to stand for something. I have to stand for something. And this right here was the last straw for me. I don't want to see PBC flourish because the PBC flourishing will not be a benefit for boxing. I am 100% adamant with that at this point now because how they have moved Tank Davis and how they positioned him. I mean, it's been smart because they know American fans are stupid and they can do certain things and be able to finagle things. But the fact of the matter is, Tank Davis is a phenomenal talent that has not been put in a position to fully prove it for us as true boxing fans. And that's why he has question marks on him. He ducked Loma, bro. They had him duck Loma
Shit,
instead of
not even
actually
just
the
Tank.
smoke.
Shit, not even just Tank. Shit, a lot of them guys over there. Shit,
Oh yeah,
Tank was
shout out to my
fucking
man
weird.
Mark. He had to drop off. I appreciate you coming on, bro. You definitely made my show entertaining. I didn't think I was gonna be on for almost 2 hours. I don't do these long ass lives like this. But Hugh, what do you say about that though? About Tank Davis when it comes to his matchmaking and how things lined up? Because we see Rolly ain't shit, bro. We knew Ryan. I was gonna say Ryan Kardashian. I ain't gonna disrespect him, but Ryan Garcia was not on that level. He's only on that. He only gets a chance to be on that level because his notoriety. But in that ring, fundamentally, he didn't have that. What do you say about that? Is that an indictment on their matchmaking, or is it just par for the course and you cool with that shit?
That fight, I see. I don't that fight. I don't see as matchmaking, but a lot of Tank's other career, yeah, it's a lot of manicured, matchmaking, and to me, I just say that's bad, and I say that's bad on any of the guys. Like after they fight, you don't know who they're fighting next. That and if they're considered to be one of the best, I don't think that's good because when you're the best, everybody knows who you should be fighting next, unless it's two or three people who you actually should be fighting. You know what I mean? Like Canelo, we should know who we fight next. You know what I mean? Benavidez, boom. Tank, we know who you should be fighting next. Devin or Shakur. Nothing else. But when they fight them, we don't know who the hell they fight
Yeah,
next.
but they're gonna say, "Oh
It's
no,
like,
Shakira don't deserve to get a fight. He just got the 135, but Rolly can get a title shot and never fought at 140." See, this is the
I,
hypocritical shit I be seeing, bro. And
and he's a unified champ.
hey, TFT Master Q, the Superior Davis, unmute your mic. I want your viewpoint on what I just asked Q as well. Tell me what you feel about that. Let me find out he ain't on no more. He just muted up at work. I guess he ain't on right now. He there, but he not there. Let me see. Oh, somebody else just. Oh, he back on. He requested to get back on. Hold up. Hey, you with me, Q? Superior
Can you
David?
hear me now?
Yeah, I got rid of the other one. The other link was going to put you back on. Okay, so did you hear the question that I proposed to Q to God? And I'm proposing it to you, Q, Bud for Buddy Master, Tank, Thirsty for Tank Master. Talk to me.
Hold up, ask the question again.
Do you feel that as good as Tank Davis is, and I believe that he has the ability to be great, that he has been shortchanged based on fighting people like Rolly, which we know ain't on that level at all. Ryan Garcia, who has talent, but he doesn't have the fundamentals nor the skill set, the execution to be on the level of world class as of right now. Do you feel like they're cheating his career in a sense of quality, or is it just par for the course and you cool with this shit?
Hey, man. The fights that we want to see. Far as what they're doing for his career.
Yeah. Just think about it.
Shit, I got.
It's on your side of
Thinking
the
too hard, Q.
that Shakur got to prove it more, but Rolly can go to 140 with no fights and go get a belt. Danny Garcia can go to 160 with no wins and 160 and get a catchweight title shot. But Shakur ain't got to prove more to fight Tank though, right? I don't get it. It's so hypocritical.
I mean, it's not a matter of prove something in the ring, because if they was all up under this same umbrella, I'm pretty sure they would get the Rolly and Pitbull opportunities.
Bro, what?
But because us as fans don't get behind the Shakurs and the Devin Haney's.
Stop. Don't say that, because Shakur did over 1 million views on his last fight, bro. Don't do that. He sold out his last fight. He sold out the arena, and he had 1.3 million people viewing. You go to a Showtime telecast,
he sold out what?
His last fight, he sold out the arena, and he had 1.3 million people watching it.
How many people was at the arena, Brim?
He had like 10,000 in that motherfucker.
No, I know how many. I know exactly how many he had in attendance.
Yeah, like 10,000.
He had close to 9K. He had close to 9K that generated a revenue of $750K. He didn't do spectacular. Not like you think.
I mean,
Look it up.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
Look it up.
Now, I ain't looking at it from, like the money and shit, man, that's cool. I think that's all predicated on your dancing partner. Anybody could go out and not really do much because they not fighting a person that people want to see them. Like that's only somebody wanting to come see one person. You get Tank and Ryan numbers when you see people that come to see two people fight, not just one person that they know fighting somebody. You know what I mean?
And,
So
and that's granted. But when you have a fighter that's not getting the support that he's supposed to be getting, and the fighter wants to make a fight with another company, man, why the auto so bad?
That's you, bro.
yeah, I think you got your phone or
You
two
got the
devices on
microphone
at
and
the
the
same
headset
time.
like too close to each other. Whatever's going on, it's good now. You good now?
Can you hear me without the echo?
Good now.
Yeah, you
Hold
good.
up, let me get off this Bluetooth.
No, you good now. You good
Yeah,
now.
you good.
You good now. You good
That's
now.
that. That's that old nigga shit. Shout out my nigga Q, man. I got to meet him.
Right?
He came to the shop. He came to the shop. I got the
Audio in the
cut his hair.
building. Shout out to the CDs and the 8 tracks. You heard?
Yeah, and shout out to them niggas, man, born in the early 70s, man, and 60s and shit.
Yo.
Bram, can you hear me?
Oh damn, Q. Where did Q go? I accidentally kicked Q off. I'm sorry, Q.
Man, it's still echoing.
It might be echoing for you. It ain't echoing for me right now, though.
Yeah, do you got two devices on? You got
I'm
one
off the
on three?
Bluetooth.
You good? You sound good on my end.
Yeah, you good on mine, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, you Gucci right now. But you know, like in a nutshell, man, I just think it's like again, you made some Q, you made some solid points and things that I agree with. I won't, disagree with you with. But the thing is, the things that you're saying are being used in a hypocritical manner, though. And there's so many. Like, listen, Top Rank and Matchroom has their faults. They have their fuck shit that they do too, and I'll call them out on it when I see it, when I feel like it's the need to. But PBC has an insurmountable amount of bullshit that is going on with them. That I'm at a point that if you remove them from the boxing landscape, it will benefit boxing. And when it's that bad, you gotta go.
PBC show thing got no pride, man.
Huh?
I PBC show thing got no pride.
No
By
problem.
by one that they'll give you a bullshit, but they'll give you a Ruiz and Areola and say $80. Look you in your eye, don't smile, don't blink. Motherfucker got that's crazy. You know what I mean? They done put on some bullshit ass pay-per-views. And they'll try to downplay a top ranked fighter or a matchroom fighter, like, oh man, they ain't selling on pay-per-view, bro, because you will put one of your fighters on a pay-per-view that'll sell 50, bro, 20. You know what I'm saying? Bro,
Burial
top rank could easily do that
is
shit.
like 39K.
Bro, top ranking them could easily do that shit. But they don't want to. They want people to see their damn product. The small amount of people, you know what I'm saying, with my finger quotes, the small amount of people that watch it. let them watch it. At least they ain't got to pay for that bullshit.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
that's actually a smaller amount of people. When you put a paywall, you actually can minimize the amount of eyeballs that you're going to get to see, which is great as HBO was at its peak and Showtime when they was at its peak. It actually overall was hurting the sport of boxing outside of the top end fighters because you have
Facts.
less eyeballs seeing fighters.
Exactly. And now the fighters become less known, but in their mind, they don't feel that way because yeah, they might be getting paid more money, you know what I mean, or whatever it may be. Like that's why when they actually gotta fight somebody, they already getting an inflated ass purse. Now when they fight somebody for real, oh man, I'm gonna triple that, double what they regular get when they really get in there with some real
No,
competition.
no lies, man. But listen, I gotta go get my hair cut. I did not think I was gonna be on for 2 hours. Listen, I really appreciate you pulling up. Make sure you hit me up and let me know when you next time you're on, so I can try to be on. Because I'll be up late night. So when you be on, I'll be trying to catch you. But
Uh,
I appreciate you pulling up on me, man. But at the end of the day, my soliloquy is the way PBC is moving in the terms that we have. I cannot accept as a boxing fan. And if this is going to be their overall modus operandi, I want to see them gone. But listen, everybody from the panel, everybody from the chat, this is Unbiased Fan Brim Reaper. I really appreciate everybody that pulled up, man. And y'all have a blessed one, man. Reaper out.